Ah, there we go. Now you should be able to see everything. Unlike the last time I tried to record. Whoops. Close that. Okay, so for our first of the scenarios, let me pull it back up. One thing that we were asked to do is to explain different. Sorry, just moving everything into place. Sometimes it's hard to grab things with so much stuff on the screen. We are asked to explain certain concepts, for example, authentication versus, there we go, authentication versus authorization. So I'm going to draw a quick little thing here. That way I can help articulate my point. Let's see. Nope, I don't want to do that. To okay, so now I've got my little diagram picture up of sorts, a model, if you will. So let's say that this black square here is users. And these different little lines and stuff are the connections. So in here we have different users, which are blue, regular users, and pink, admins. Now, of course, the difference between authorization and authentication is fairly simple. When it comes to authorization, stuff like that would be found inside of the user's profile. What kind of, say, level they are. Are they an admin? Are they a regular user? And that, of course, dictates where they can go. So let's say regular users can go to this orange database just fine after being going through something like a login, or if they're on a website, they would get automatically like checked to see if they were allowed to be there. And then over here, this of course red line represents that check and that first login as well. Let's say a regular user is trying to get into a database that only admins are allowed into. Well, that would fall underneath authorization and also kind of authentication based on how you looked at it. When it came to authentication, of course, you would first have to authenticate yourself over here at the login, and then you'd get, I say re-authenticated, but pretty much your user profile would get checked to see if you're a regular user that isn't allowed in, or if you were an admin, which is this pink line here, which is allowed in. But that's a bit of a dumbed down version. Next, move this over a little bit. Oh, okay, it's fine. Don't do that. So next, this is where things got a little bit tangled up for me, trying to keep track of everything. Over here, you can see the code that I used to complete this second scenario, in which case I made 4 new schemas with, I think, I ended up making 4 new users, plus a few test users, and yeah, 4 new schemas, transfer tables. Yes, I also transferred the tables and altered them. Of course, I created a few tables as well, just to kind of, I didn't want to use the tables that were already there. I wanted to create new ones that I could blow away if needed. I come from after I can't speak. It's been a long day. I work at a zoo and there's just so many people, but you don't care about that. Um, so where was I? Oh yes. So when it came to using the tables that we had, I wanted to leave those alone and create my own tables that I could mess with and blow away. I was taught at a very young age while working on coding and PHP and SQL and NoSQL to always create a bit of a backup or maybe a tested dummy or something that you can get rid of just in case things don't go to plan. Over here, you can see where I created the schemas, admin login, and employee login. And then, of course, we created some tables, put data in those tables. And then, of course, we did the same for sales as well, just to create two that we could work with. And then I manually, as shown in some of our instructional videos, made the users, you click new user and you go through that process. So we have a bowling employee, two admins, and it's the same down here for sales as well. Let's see. Let's see. Our next one would be to define roles, which I was able to do also manually through roles here. I was able to make roles. So you go like new role, database role, obviously. And then I would place the role name. In our case, one role that I made was the bowling admin. I was able to give them different schemas. And of course, under here, I was able to, yeah, I know. Okay, fine. I was able to give them different schemas they had control over, and then through other processes here that let's put in a name. I was able to do other things as well that aren't showing up, but that's okay. And then I obviously don't want to make this guy, it's random, and having randomness inside of databases is not a good idea. After that, of course, you go to, let's say you wanted both of the admins and the tester admin inside of this particular role. That's where you would do it, and through the roles, you would give permissions. That was fairly simple. I am liking this class so far. Finally, let me go over here. Using some help, mostly through like ChatGPT. I don't use it often, only when I am just confused about what's being asked. I was able to make this, and then through there, I was able to, of course, there's the results of the query. And then my results showing. So I'm just reading through my notes. I mean, I'm no professional just yet. Thing in the database. Yeah, this is the results for 4. And there's a few things that I don't quite understand about all this, but I'm sure that with time and some uh, time and studies, I'll be able to understand more of what I'm doing here. And I can't wait for that to kind of go back and be like, oh, wait a minute, this is what I was doing, clearly. But yes, that is everything for this week. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I went through the instructions very thoroughly and I tried to articulate them the best that I could here. Uh, Maybe next time I should script this. Thank you.